Today I'm bringing you to one of my favorite trails in Oregon, the Tumalo Falls Trail. You can see Tumalo Falls right above me. And today we're going to be talking about trees and how to sketch them. And we might run into some other interesting things as well. So let's go. One of the important roles trees and other plants play in the ecosystem is along riverways and streams and lakes. They not only help to shade the water, which makes it have higher oxygen and be good for trout, like in this trout stream in Oregon, but their roots also help to stabilize the soil. So thank a tree next time you go for a hike along a beautiful, cool, clean river. And when trees die and fall across the creek or into the creek, they create really great habitat, especially for trout and salmon fry, so that they can hide from bigger predators. And it also helps keep the water cooler. And eventually those trees will decompose, adding their carbon nutrition to the aquatic life cycle. Of course, trees play really important roles in the ecosystem after they're dead as well. The trees will be laying on the ground, sometimes for decades, decomposing and adding their nutrients to the soil. They'll also provide homes for other animals, like the chipmunk we're hearing right now, and skunks and raccoons. Now, in a previous tutorial, I've taught you guys about shadows and how to really notice them to be able to have more three-dimensionality in your drawings. So notice in this tree, it's completely in the shade, whereas this tree is more interesting because it's got a balance of shade and sun. You might also want to notice any interesting epiphytes that are on trees. Often trees will have lichens, mosses, even fungi, especially if the tree is dead. The fungi will help to decompose it. And you can find cool things on the branches as well. And if you're lucky enough to be in the tropics, there are a lot of other epiphytes that live on trees, like bromeliads and orchids, and even epiphytic cactus. Another thing to notice when observing and sketching trees is any injuries they might have. Here you can see some sap coming out. Locally, unfortunately, there's also diseases like white pine blister rust, which is really affecting the trees around Crater Lake. You might also notice some cool animals on trees, like these big ants. In order to correctly identify a tree, like these conifers, you generally need a few different characteristics. One, of course, is where you are, such as the elevation and the habitat, and another is looking at the characteristic of the tree itself. You'd like to notice, for one, the type of needles they have and whether they're in bundles, and the type of cones they have, and the characteristics of their bark. Often they have variously interesting textured bark that you want to notice. All four of those characteristics, the habitat, the location, the bark, the growth form, as well as the cone and the needles, really help you to identify the species. Many forests are a mixture of both conifers and hardwoods, or deciduous trees. So here in Oregon we have spruces, firs, pines, and in this forest here we also have deciduous aspens and cottonwoods. So look around next time you're in a forest to see the diversity of both conifers and deciduous trees. Hey nature journalers, when you're outdoors looking around for trees to nature journal about, don't forget to stop and smell the roses, or pick a couple huckleberries. So delicious. So I ate a bunch of them, and then I sketched and painted them. Now who says you can't sketch what you eat or eat what you sketch? So I created a painting of the huckleberries with wild huckleberry juice paint. It's a little bit paler than the real huckleberry, So that's why I squished a huckleberry here and made a little swatch with my real watercolor paints of what the real color of the huckleberries is. How much fun is that? I hope you'll be joining me for this weekend's masterclass on trees. We'll be talking about deciduous and coniferous trees, like this lodgepole pine. These guys have pretty small cones and they have needles in bundles of 2, and their trunks often look like a bunch of brown oatmeal that was smeared on there with maple syrup. At least that's how I remember them. So I hope you can join us. The monthly masterclass, of course, is part of the Nature Notebook Club, and we're going to be live on Sunday. And as with all of my workshops, after the live event, the replay will be put on the Nature Notebook Club website. So I hope to see you there. Bye.